to make about the pitch. But describing the action for us is George Hamilton.
Skies overhead have been leaden for days, and this fixture was in doubt until an hour before the kick-off. But when Pat Kelly, the Cork referee and one of the league's most experienced, had satisfied himself that it was playable, the head nodded and the game was on. But as you can see, it's been heavily sanded. The ground staff here at the RDS have been working on this pitch for over 24 hours. The hope is that it bears up. Shamrock Rovers manager Ray Tracy rings the changes for this game. 5 in all. He's brought back Terry Everston to add experience at the expense of Owen Mullen. Everston will play up front. The big surprise is the selection at centre-half of Kenny O'Rourke. Derek Tracy comes back at right-back. Gareth Kelly moves to left-back. And back after injury and into the midfield is Carl Gannon. And Ray Tracy will be hoping for goals from him. 5 this season so far. The team's top scorer. But Hoops haven't scored in their last 3. Well, the Shamrock Rovers season really depends upon this fixture, for the National League Championship is way out of reach. Shelbourne aren't in that predicament at all. Just one change in their lineup. Mark Rutherford resumes on the substitutes bench. He had a long layoff with a broken leg. David Tilson, who was injured for Shelbourne's last outing against Cork City, the 1-1 draw last week, he comes back. Stephen Gagan likely to play on his own up front with plenty of support from the midfield. It's Shelbourne who get this FAI Hartlager Cup tie underway against the team that's won the trophy more than any other. Shamrock Rovers, 24 times the FAI Cup winners. But such has been the nature of their up and down season. The form they're in just now, they're fully dependent on this FAI Cup to keep their season going. Three defeats on the trot. They haven't won since the 10th of December, Shamrock Rovers. Beating Tilson. Declan Gagan's come onto it. It's Howlett now. Gagan's continued the run. O'Rourke comes out of the middle. Good challenge. Howlett there to try and make something of it the second time. And wins the throw. Quickly taken. Sheridan. And Tony Sheridan brought down by a clumsy challenge by Derek Tracy. And it's a free kick to Shelbourne. Swung in by Howlett. McCopp had gone up. It's Costello. Oh! David Tilson, as it was headed clear, well, not so much headed clear as headed back to him, and Tilson with the effort that wasn't too far away. Declan Gagan rising to meet that firmly. Brother Stephen. Tracy winning it back for Rovers. Declan Gagan again with determination. That was DeCours up the line. Oh, and it turned out to be a good ball. Emerson's after it. No one in the middle for him yet. McGrath's arriving. Dully's there too now. Throw back for Tracy. Tracy. Oh, but the shot came in from DeCours. No one had picked him up. Just when it seemed that the better ball was into the middle, he pulled it back for DeCours, so the shot wasn't too far away. So O'Rourke to get it forward once again. McCopp's head. Now Sheridan. Gagan's gone wide to the right. This is for him. Sheridan continuing on a track through the middle, and now coming at closer quarters as Gagan tries to pull it across into the danger zone, but fails to find a red shirt. Forward towards Dully. Won by Neville, and it's DeCours for Gannon. Tracy goes on the overlap, and that's for him. Tracy arriving at pace. First time cross. McCopp's head. Dully going up. The fist of Goff. Away by Declan Gagan, but Rovers still have it. Tracy once again. This time it's Neville to get it clear. Toll, but the other number 6 Howlett, and now Tilson. Gagan, Tilson, nice play by Shelbourne. Still it's Tilson. David Tilson going all the way on his own, and blocked by Kelly. Kenny O'Rourke's clearance. But now it's with Dave Smith. Tracy to bring it away for Shamrock Rovers. You have to say, given the conditions, both teams doing their utmost to play football. And that's offside against Stephen Gagan. Gino Brazil getting it away. Everston nicely directed down to McGrath. Kelly. Dully. Then it's McGrath once more. The Coors, McGrath, a deflection, and that's a corner. Derek McGrath with a first-time shot, and it just nicked off Mick Neville there, and has gone for a corner. It's Shelburne Rovers' fourth, which tells you that they've been in and around the Shelburne penalty area frequently enough. The Coors back for Everston once more to vary the angle of approach towards Dully, beaten by Neville. And now it's Flood. Stephen Gagan. Sheridan stopped by Toll. And now it's Derek Tracy. The Coors. Dully from McGrath once again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. McGrath's header. And Neville cleared it. It's the Coors. Won by McCobb. Costello again. It's McGrath trying to dig it out. And succeeding. Gannon. Well stopped by Goff. Would have seen that late. Cleared away by Sheridan. Good effort that. The game goes on. Kelly. De Coors. Everston. Kelly again. Won by Declan Gagan, but it's come down to Gannon, and he couldn't get hold of it. And Goff able to make the save. But that was a really fine effort there by Carl Gannon, dug out by McGrath. When it came to Gannon, snap shot, which Goff saw late and did well to parry. Won by John Toll. Then it's Flood. Sheridan, nicely played. Tony Sheridan still, rolled in for Howlett, helped on to Tilson. David Tilson, but he couldn't outfox Gino Brazil. And the clearance has only gone to Declan Gagan, and now it's Howlett. Stephen Gagan, looking for Howlett, he's fouled, and that's going to be a card for Rod De Coors. Right under the nose of referee Pat Kelly. A rash challenge, and De Coors is booked. Kelly took the feet from under Stephen Gagan. And it's Costello to curl it. And it's off the crossbar. Kelly to try and get it away. Howlett though, back for Flood. And Flood's cross. This time it's away by Everston. And now Declan Gagan. The offside flag has gone up. The referee hasn't spotted it. It's still up. And Shamrock Rovers coming away with the ball. Advantage, in a sense, then played. But now it's Mick Neville. Tilson against O'Rourke. And the big defender coming off the better, but passing only as far as Sheridan, who did well to keep it in play. He's done really well here. Tony Sheridan eventually dispossessed by O'Rourke. Kelly clearing. And now it's Everston. Howlett though, non-stop action. Looking for Stephen Gagan. Gagan has support from Sheridan. And deflected off the toe of O'Rourke and away for Shelburne's first corner. What a real purple patch that was. All preceded by that wonderful free kick by Greg Costello. Gagan here had the support from Sheridan. And it just took a touch off the toe of O'Rourke and away for the corner. Tilson swinging it in. Headed away by Toll. Gagan back for Tilson again. And Tilson making the room for himself. There's the cross. Across the gaping goal. And still the game goes on. Everston on towards Dully, but it's Neville down for Shelburne. Gagan. Sheridan out left. And that's for him. He really had a fine game. Howlett, lovely ball to him, but Gary Howlett, a poor pass. Costello does well to retrieve to give Howlett a second chance. Howlett's cross, Headed away by Tracy. From the Smith. Flood. And Gagan. Stephen Gagan. Saved by O'Neill. Well, this really has been a wonderful spell in this cup tie. All of it beginning with that wonderful free kick by Greg Costello that smacked back off the crossbar. And then Stephen Gagan setting himself up for that shooting opportunity, and Alan O'Neill doing ever so well to tip it over the bar. McGrath. Gareth Kelly. And Decore's made the run. Flood has come with him. Decore's pulling it back. Gannon. And that was Declan Gagan who got in the way. And it's another corner to Shamrock Rovers. Important block that by Gagan. Gannon went up. Dully's there. Off the line by Howlett. Here's McGrath. McGrath's shot. Once more it's blocked by Howlett. Close call for the Reds. Here comes Shelburne with Dave Smith. Smith's cross. O'Neill taking it. Taking it well. Tracy's through. On by Dully. Everston. Back again for Dully. He's picked out McGrath. And here's Everston. Well saved by Goff. Well, it was a fine effort by Terry Everston. Got himself into the position, but Goff had it covered.
I was doubtful that the game should have been played. It certainly didn't suit either side, and I think what you saw today was a lot of effort. I don't think any player could be on either side could be questioned on his commitment. It was always going to be difficult. It was difficult. I always thought the game would hinge on a mistake, and there weren't too many mistakes made.
I understand the problems that with backlog of fixtures and that. I understand Shamrock Rovers having a home game, but at the end of it, really, you've got to compliment both teams and the referee and linesman for giving performances that really we didn't deserve. We had a game which went end to end. There was plenty of instant in it, but there's no great quality in it. And I've got two players who both got the same injury, a twisted ankle, because of the conditions. I mean, there's some potholes out there that are bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Yes, that's for sure. Nonetheless, the players did well, even if the result was disappointing all round, but the replay should be interesting. Well, no fewer than 5 matches were postponed today, not surprisingly, and we'll be bringing you all the dates and times of the refixes and the replays a little later on. But first, let's see what did take place, starting last night in St Coleman's Park, where Cove Ramblers played Sligo Rovers.
Shades of 1983 all over again at St Coleman's Park as these two great clubs renewed sporting rivalry. Chances aplenty in the opening half in front of a fair-sized and enthusiastic attendance. It was Aspinall here with the precise ball setting up Jim Mulligan, and really just the width of the goalpost saving Ramblers, but the muscular Ian Gilzine was on hand to further illustrate his prowess in front of goal. Cove were on terms almost immediately. From the left-sided throw, Sligo looking less than assured in the air, and Tommy Craigall's looping header drawing the brushes from goalkeeper Mark McLean. 1-1, and Cove fully deserving of their goal. There were openings at either end in a lively first 45 minutes football, and the impressive Mulligan should have had Rovers ahead once again here, but didn't. On the night, Mulligan really did look impressive. Midway through the second half, in a curious piece of Ramblers defending, it resulted in a wayward clearance by an otherwise excellent Philip Long, facing towards his own endline and goalpost. Gilzine, wide on the right-hand side, couldn't believe his luck or the porous nature of Cove in front of their own posts. Should have been 2-1, but it remained level as Sligo had a man in offside position. Then, 7 minutes from time, it was Brunton who initiated the move from which the Premiership side earned passage to the next round of the Cup. Mulligan and Moran were causing the consternation, and you know who got his second goal on the night.
Conditions in Ballybuffet were no better than anywhere else this damp weekend, but it was Longford Town who made the better start. John Reid's pass finished superbly by Damien Dunleavy. And worse was to follow for the Donegal side. Aidan Walsh earning the assist as the wind carried the ball over Trevor Scanlon's head. Mark Devlin rounding John Walsh, and just past the midway point of the first half, Longford looked like causing an upset. But just before the break, a Finn Harps corner fell kindly for Ronnie Murphy, and he made it 2-1. And with the elements in their favour in the second half, that made all the difference for Finn Harps. A magnificent header by Jonathan Speake got them back on level terms. The crossbar intervened, but Pierce Walsh reacted quickest to tie it up at 2. Longford were under constant pressure now, Ronnie Murphy getting forward, and Brennan Devaney scored the goal of the game, chipping Aidan Smith. A big crowd in Ballybuffet, and it was Noel Melvin who found Jonathan Speake for number 4. He was too sharp for former Cup winner John Cleary, and Damien Dunleavy had all the time in the world to beat Smith and put Finn Harps' name into the draw for round 2. In the final minute, Dunleavy's through pass was dummied by Speake. John Gerard McGettigan was taken down by Aidan Smith, and referee Jerry Perry had no choice but to send him off. The Finn Harps crowd showed their sporting nature by giving him a standing ovation as he headed for the showers. But Pierce Walsh had the easy task of completing a great night of cup football in Ballybuffet. If you're a Finn Harps supporter, that is.
Persistent heavy drizzle and difficult underfoot conditions meant this was never going to be a classic cup encounter at Belfield. UCD, aided by a strong wind in the first half, had the better chances. Shortly before the interval, Kieran Kavanagh came close, but the header was just wide. Another chance for UCD to break the deadlock came moments later. Robert Griffin laying off to Mick O'Byrne, and Griffin continued his run downfield, but as we see now, his shot was well turned away by Kilkenny keeper Ashley Stevenson. Well into the second half now, and Brendan Ray was having a good afternoon at the heart of the Kilkenny City defence, and his sortie down into attack led to a controversial penalty decision just 5 minutes after the restart. Packy Lynch adjudged to have fouled Ray, and the referee pointed straight to the penalty spot. Did he dive, or was he pushed? Well, Seamus Kelly in the UCD goal had to face Brian Arrigan, and he made no mistake from the penalty spot to give a 1-0 lead to Kilkenny City. Well, that goal spurred UCD into life, and they deservedly levelled 10 minutes later. Jonathan Tracy and James Keddy linking up well on the left-hand side, and when Keddy put in the cross, there was Terry Palmer to head home the equaliser. The goal that clinched the tie was simplicity itself. Stevenson's kick out into the path of Aidan Cooney, and he struck it beautifully into the far corner to give Kilkenny City a shock 2-1 victory at Belfield.
The Battle of Tel El Kebir in 1882, the reason TEK got their strange name. Today's cup game against Cork, a battle of sorts as well, with Mudd the great leveller. Cork forced a corner on 10 minutes, swung over by Gareth Cronin, and it was Dave Hill who rose unmarked to head the only goal of the game. Hill's goal sealing his man-of-the-match performance. But amateur side TEK can feel hard done by. When Declan Verhoeven flicked on this clearance to substitute Kieran Tresson, TEK thought Jody Byrne's challenge was illegal, and as if that weren't bad enough, this challenge from Brian Barry Murphy, they felt, merited a penalty. Referee Brendan Short waved away their cup dream.
Seasons of mists and mellow fruitfulness at Avondale Park near Carrigaline. 15 minutes into the first half of a compelling tie, and United Billy Sullivan floats in a crisp free kick, and in the appalling conditions, Len Downey heads the Munster Senior League team in front. CYM were full value for their equaliser. Indeed, much of the best interplay on the treacherous surface came from the Ys. They knocked it about impressively, and when Trevor Brady's pinpoint cross found Davy Nolan, the teams drew level. Then a minute into injury time, how about this for an Avondale free kick, driven emphatically by Damien O'Connell. The smiles were back on Cork faces, even in the rain. But the game was finally put out of CYM's reach by a sweeping movement. O'Connell was again involved, as was Len Downey, and when the ball to feet reached Thomas Long, he placed an inviting ball for substitute Eric Smith, and Avondale United are in the draw for round 2 on Friday morning.
Well, there was some exciting cup action there, wasn't there? But the big shock of the day was in the Carlisle grounds in Bray. And with that, and indeed all the other soccer news as well, here's Ryan Nugent.
Yes, Jim, Bray Wanderers, the 1990 FAI Cup winners, were well and truly dumped out of the Cup today as Fanage United, the Intermediate Cup holders, came to Bray and won 4-0. Reporting on the match, Darragh Maloney.
This result looked highly unlikely after the first 40 minutes when Bray were totally dominant. Fanage stunned the home side when they took the lead 3 minutes before the break, when George Greer beat the offside trap and fired home from a difficult angle. 5 minutes after half-time, Fanage went further in front. Ray Kenny handled the ball on the line and was sent off, and John McElwain blasted home the penalty. Bray knew they had to come at Fanage, but with 10 men, they were always going to be left short at the back. On the hour, Greer got his second, and 3 minutes later, Kenny Harkin got Fanage's fourth to end the game as a contest.
Great win for Fanage, and they join the long list of great cup shocks, as much for the margin of their victory as anything else. But there were other surprises, as you've already seen, so here are all the scores. Avondale United 3, CYMS Terranure 1, Bray Wanderers 0, Fanage United 4, Derry City 0, St James's Gate 0, Shamrock Rovers 0, Shelburne 0, TEK United 0, Cork City 1, and UCD 1, Kilkenny City 2. All of which means there are several cup matches scheduled for the coming week, and this is the lineup. On Tuesday, Shelburne and Shamrock Rovers will replay at Talca Park, kick-off there at 7:30. On Wednesday, there are 4 games. Temple United face Home Farm Everton at Turner's Cross, kick-off there at 2 o'clock. At 2:15, UCC face Limerick at the Mardyke. At 7:30, Waterford United play Galway United, while also at 7:30, St James's Gate replay their game with Derry at the Ivy Grounds. Just one game on Thursday, the replay between Drogheda United and Dundalk at United Park, kick-off there at 7:30, while next Sunday, Wayside Celtic and Cherry Orchard play their game at 2:15 in Kiltiernan. Now in the FA Premiership, Newcastle United extended their lead at the top to 9 points with their win at Highfield Road today. Steve Watson got the only goal. And there is confirmation of Newcastle's superiority. In addition to their lead, they have a game in hand, and it'll take quite a collapse for anyone to catch them now. In Division 1, it finished Birmingham City 3, Charlton Athletic 4, while Sunderland were surprised by Norwich City. So Charlton goes second, Norwich move up to 6th. In Scotland, Celtic kept up the pressure on Rangers with a 2-1 win at Aberdeen. Second half goals by Collins and Van Hooijdonk mean that Rangers' lead has been cut back to 5 points, but Celtic, as you can see, have a game in hand. Moving to international soccer, and the African Nations Cup began yesterday in South Africa. These are the results so far. In Group A, South Africa beat Cameroon 3-0, a great win for them. Zambia and Algeria played out a scoreless draw in Group B, while in Group D, Leeds United Tony Yeboah scored both goals for Ghana as they beat the Ivory Coast.
Did me